Hi, I'm Rob, and in this video I'm going to take a look at Gran Turismo 7 in VR on the base PS5 first and then compare it to the PS5 Pro, because a lot of people have noticed that basically the PS5 Pro is giving all PS5 games a small boost, even if they're not Pro enhanced officially. That extra little bit of CPU power is just making everything that little bit smoother, that little bit better in pretty much all PS5 games. So without further ado, let's jump in. First I'll check out GT7 on the base PS5 in VR, and then we'll switch over to the Pro. Right, so here we go. This is the base PS5 first. I'm going to have a game on a track I know really well. This is Dragon Trail. I'm going to have to explain my thoughts obviously because you can't see what I'm seeing in VR, but this is standard base PS5 first. So no Pro enhancements, no Pro extra boost of power in VR mode, and let's see what we think. Looking for overall sharpness, how things look in the distance. Looking at the writing just to see how it looks. I'm not too worried about getting a great race time or anything like that. I'm looking at cars, like the back of that car there, how detailed is it, how crisp is it, how clean can I see it, and looking at the writing. It's a little bit fuzzy on this, it always has been. It's never been completely crisp, but that may be due to the way the VR works. Oh there, the 13 Ferrari 366 GT B4 was fairly clean, but a little bit blur about it. That's what I'm going to try and remember. In the cars look fine. Generally it is a really crisp, clean looking game. In VR it does a perfectly great job on the normal PS5, but obviously what I'm looking for is, are things crisper and cleaner and better on the PS5 Pro. Turning corners, how clear and crisp it is. It was, you know, there's that small amount of blur when you turn in some corners on the base PS5. If you look around and you're trying to look for it, kind of thing, like those yellow markers there, not as crisp and clear as in looking at it on a standard TV. I mean, the whole image is never going to be as crisp as it is on a standard TV. It's just VR is just not there yet. On console at least. It's still very, very good. This is like looking at a huge screen as big as real life basically, so things can't be as crisp and clear until we get something like 8K in VR. So yeah, overall I'd say this is still an absolutely fantastic experience, it really is. You know, if I didn't have a Pro, and I didn't know if it's going to be better or not, I haven't tried it yet, then I would be completely, perfectly happy with this. Let's take a look at the back of this Testarossa. I mean, the cars aren't, I mean, there's good detail in. I could read Testarossa on the back of it when I got up really close to it. I can read it now, but it's still a little bit blurry and indistinct. But that's to be expected in VR this close. Right, so we're going to go to the same course, same car, same everything as before. Let's see what we think. It's definitely a bit sharper already. That even that's where it says Ferrari Circuit Challenge. It's a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper. Alright, let us have a look. PS5 Pro version. Let's take a look at the detail on the back of the car again. So I don't think the actual detail on the back of the cars is any more necessarily noticeably better. Well, I do think the writing above the cars, where it says like there Ferrari 308 GTB 75, that is definitely a little bit cleaned up and better looking. It's just a bit sharper, not as blurry as it was before. Just want to catch up with couple of the other cars. Take a look at the general graphics. I don't think the general graphics actually look particularly any better in VR mode from what I've seen so far. It definitely does look a little bit crisper, a little bit cleaner overall, but I think in VR, from what I've seen, that's about it. I may switch back ever so briefly to the other version and just have a quick look at that, because sometimes you can see this kind of thing better. Like actually, Testarossa on the back of that Testarossa in front of me, I could only read that when I got really, really close to it on the base PS5, and I can read it from here on the Pro, so it is actually definitely a little bit sharper. Not leaps and bounds sharper, it's not like game-changing, humongously, crazily better. But it is just a little bit better. But oh, actually, crikey, my position where it's just come up there, 8:16 and the time, that is actually loads sharper than before. Wasn't exactly indistinct on the base PS5, but it's definitely a little bit cleaner looking through this. But the overall look of the tracks and things like that I think is the same. If it is different in some way, it's not something I'm particularly noticing. But this is before any official update. This is just probably benefiting from that small, roughly 10% increase in CPU power, where we're getting that extra smoothness and extra bit of clarity and boost from the extra CPU on pretty much all PS5 games. Thing that people have noticed so far. It is definitely a little bit smoother. Right, so there's the video. So to conclude, in VR mode, it is definitely, I think, a little bit sharper. Just a small amount, nothing game-changing at all, and a little bit cleaner looking. And it just seems to play just that tiny weeny bit smoother at the same time. But if you've got a base VR, I think you would play one mode, say you just left it for a couple of hours later, came back, and someone told you you're now playing on the PS5 Pro in VR mode, I don't think you'd maybe notice a difference. You may be looking at it and go, God, this seems sort of a bit sharper. Have I got my VR unit in a spot-on place, whatever? But apart from that, I'd say there's no real difference in VR mode that's that worth having over the PS5 Pro version, but it is without an update yet. There's no specific VR update for GT7 as far as I know. You're just benefiting from that small extra power boost from the CPU, making things just that little bit cleaner. But there's the video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.